Welcome, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the billionaire lifestyle of Jeff Bezos after retirement. Jeff is, of course, the founder and CEO of Amazon, and he is one of the richest men in the world. But what does his lifestyle look like now that he has retired? On July 5th, 2021, Jeff Bezos officially resigned from his position as CEO of Amazon, shocking the entire globe. Bezos was retiring 7 years younger and 172,000 times wealthier than the typical American retiree, with a net worth of $213 billion. Today, I must say that I am really interested in what Bezos has spent his billions on over the last 12 months. Let's take a look at some of the details of Jeff Bezos' billionaire lifestyle after retirement. He's been able to spend more time investing in causes and charities he believes in, like the Bezos Day One Fund and Blue Origin. He has also been able to take long, luxurious vacations to places like Fiji and Spain. But word on the street at the time was that the Amazon billionaire had found another woman, which was later confirmed when he was photographed with Lauren Sanchez several times, a retired TV host turned helicopter pilot. That is, however, none of my concern. I'm more concerned with divorce settlements, the bag Mackenzie cashed out from the divorce, and those figures were hefty. Jeff Bezos founded Amazon after the couple married, and because they didn't sign a prenup, Mackenzie should have gotten 50% of the company, instantly giving her a net worth of $56 billion, making her the richest woman in the world at the time. However, this was not the case, as the settlement they reached gave Mackenzie 25% of the stakes that Jeff owned, resulting in her receiving 4% of the company. That 4% stake was worth around 20 million Amazon shares, making Mackenzie the third richest woman in the world with $27 billion. It dethroned Bezos from his $200 billion status, and arguably set the stage for Elon Musk to surpass him as the richest man alive. Super yacht. Bezos is a super yacht enthusiast, and everyone knows that super yachts are billionaires' aquatic soulmates. Most billionaires own or actively rent yachts for personal use. It's so common among the 1% that one might think these billionaires imagine themselves as modern-day Jack Sparrows, and Jeff Bezos is no exception. In fact, his passion for super yachts is so strong that even after retiring and losing a portion of his fortune to his ex-wife, he managed to dip his hands into his deep pockets. Jeff Bezos, CEO of Amazon, is currently spending George Clooney's fortune on a yacht. These are the things that future billionaires do now for love. On a more serious note, I found it odd that a 417-foot yacht would require another yacht for helicopter landings when vessels half its size could easily come with 2 helipads. So I did some research and discovered that it had something to do with Bezos' pomposity and everything to do with the elaborate, probably unnecessary design of his super yacht when it was finished. Anyone attempting to land a helicopter on that yacht would have to contend with those 3 massive sails, which is a recipe for disaster, my friend. However, the same massive sails are also the reason for the ship's indefinite delay. They are so tall. Bezos is still spending money every day, but that hasn't stopped him from dipping his hands into his deep pockets to spend George Clooney's net worth on a completely different post-retirement hobby. The only thing Bezos loves more than yachts is land and properties, as do most billionaires. And when it comes to this niche, Bezos is a man of taste, unlike Elon Musk, who doesn't mind sleeping in a $50,000 collapsible home. Bezos has been buying expensive real estate since the late 1990s. Bezos paid $10 million for a 20,600 square foot, 5-bedroom, 4-bathhouse house on a 5.3-acre property in Medina, Seattle in 1998, when Amazon was still a young company. The property was in the same neighborhood as Bill Gates, the world's richest man at the time. Amazon's success had already reached new heights by 2005, so Bezos spent an additional $50 million on a neighboring 8,300 square foot mansion with 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. The properties had a total of 310 feet of shoreline. Since then, Bezos has spent tens of millions of dollars on properties and land across the United States. At the height of the pandemic, he purchased a $16 million 3-bedroom condominium on the 20th floor of 212 Fifth Avenue in a posh Manhattan building. Prior to this purchase, he had purchased the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th floors of the same building in Washington for a total of $80 million. He paid $23 million for a former textile museum in Washington's upscale Colorama neighborhood. And then in January 2020, Bezos paid $5 million for a 4,800 square foot home across the street from that museum for privacy reasons. However, after retiring in 2021, Bezos purchased a $23 million unit in a historic building where he had previously spent $96 million on 4 separate homes. Bezos took inspiration from Bruce Wayne when acquiring the most expensive property in Maui, Hawaii, in an unsurprising ultimate boss move. The property was worth $78 million, and rather than pay for it, Bezos purchased the holding company that owned the land. The property was never publicly listed, so there isn't much information about it on the internet. But we do know that it spans 14 acres and includes a 4,500 square foot main house and a 1,700 square foot guest house built in the traditional Hawaiian plantation style. Jeff Bezos versus Elon Musk. Seeing two billionaires go at it has to be one of the most entertaining things to watch, especially when they decide to outwealth each other. This appears to be the case with Jeff Bezos and his eccentric counterpart, Elon Musk. Indeed, Elon Musk, the eccentric billionaire, accused Jeff Bezos of copying him as early as 2017, after the latter spent $1.3 billion to acquire an electric self-driving company for no apparent reason at the time. Nobody associates Jeff Bezos with electric vehicles. That is Elon Musk's domain. He is the undisputed EV billionaire, as well as the SpaceX billionaire, which is why, just a few days after retiring, Bezos spent $5.5 billion on his own aerospace company, Blue Origin, to spend 4 minutes in space. Was Bezos now imitating Musk? Not at all. Blue Origin, you see, has been around since 2000, a little longer than SpaceX, which was founded 2 years later. However, while Bezos was preoccupied with everything else, Musk redefined space travel in 2017, and Bezos must have felt pressure to remain relevant in the space industry because he announced that he would sell $1 billion worth of Amazon shares each year to fund his space ambitions. We can't confirm that Bezos has been selling Amazon shares. He sold $2 billion worth of shares in 2021 alone. However, there is no way of knowing if he has invested them in Blue Origin. But wait a minute, Blue Origin has not been profitable since its inception, and it is still operating today. So it's safe to assume that Bezos invested those billions as promised. So maybe Bezos isn't actually imitating Musk. He's just doing his own thing. The mountain clock. Wristwatches are one of the most ridiculously expensive and yet ridiculously cheap luxury items on the market. For a device that mostly functions to tell the time, watches can be the most unusually expensive items on the market. Brands like Rolex or Patek Philippe can cost as much as millions of dollars, and they are often telltale signs of extreme wealth. That isn't entirely accurate, because Jeff Bezos and many other top billionaires, including Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, wear much cheaper watches or none at all. For example, after his retirement, Bezos has only been seen wearing a $12,000 Ulysses Nardine dual time. To you, that's a lot of money, but to Bezos, I don't think I need to tell you what $12,000 is worth now. What Bezos did not spend on watches, he recently made up for with an incredible, still under construction $42 million mountain clock project. Bezos first got the vision for a gigantic clock that would be built into a mountain in 2018. Since then, he has gotten his engineers and contractors to build a massive multi-room clock inside a mountain in West Texas. But what makes this clock special, and why does it cost $42 million? On one hand, it is a massive 500-foot tall clock, and most things that size tend to cost $1. On the other hand, this clock will be mechanically powered by day-night thermal cycles and synchronized at solar noon. The clock is also designed to tick just once a year and chime once every 1,000 years. Essentially, Jeff Bezos is building a clock that will tell time for the next 10,000 years, and he has defended this costly, bizarre project by explaining that the clock will serve as a reminder to people that the far future not only exists, but will happen to their descendants at a moment no one knows. When the project will be done, or when the clock will be commissioned for a timepiece that is essentially immortal, I bet it's going to take a lot of time. And since Bezos doesn't look like he's going broke anytime soon, that $42 million budget might double or triple if the project delays beyond the slated time of production. And one more thing, if you're thinking of checking out the clock when it is done, you might be out of luck because the billionaire is building it on his own land in a remote location in Texas for reasons best known to him. What do you think of Jeff Bezos' billionaire lifestyle after retirement? Is it inspiring or too extravagant? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more videos like this one. See you next time.